Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining today. Want to welcome you to the webinar where we're going to show you how to master high volume translation with advanced automation and streamlined localization. My name is Allison. I'm a product marketer at Phrase. My main focus on the product side is integrations, and my role is to empower our customers to get the most out of integrating their tech stack and localization workflows with Phrase. And we also have my colleague Olga here, who will introduce herself, who will be leading our demo today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Olga, and I'm a product manager at Phrase, and I'm responsible for continuous localization. So automating projects in TMS using the integrations. And I'm very excited to have everyone at the webinar, and I'm looking forward to everything we're going to talk about today.
Thanks. Yeah, looking forward to your demo later. Okay, so let's get started with what we are going to cover today. In this session, we'll first discuss why zero-touch workflows and automation are more important now than ever before. We'll move on to how you can leverage Phrase to create seamless automated processes for translating high volumes. Then we'll move on to a deep dive and demo led by Olga, where we'll focus on setting up an automated workflow with automated project creation. And you might hear us refer to that as APC throughout the webinar. We'll be demoing with the Zendesk integration with Zendesk articles, but the principles and what we'll show you and discuss can be applied to any integration that supports APC. So you should be able to set this up based on what you've learned today and your workflows that you work with in your company. So let's get started. I want to set the scene and talk a little bit about what's going on with content at the moment and why we're here, really. So thanks to the incredible power of generative AI and large language models, businesses are producing and processing unprecedented volumes of content. And the content explosion is driving customers to demand personalized interactions, custom responses, and even more engaging experiences. And this is resulting in an ever-increasing content volume for enterprises to manage and translate. It's increasing the location where content is stored and managed. And it's also forcing companies to increase the frequency of publishing and updating their content. And for many global organizations, this tidal wave of requests is highlighting their localization text limitations. And I'm talking about bottlenecks due to manual setup and management of workflows, or not having enough manpower to oversee the projects, and an infinite and maybe even disconnected number of repositories and databases that you're trying to manage all at once to update the content. And even though enterprises are reacting as fast as they can with the resources that they have, it does not change the expectations from customers for a great customer experience. They're still expecting to be engaged and entertained with all the content that they want in a language or context that they understand. And that leads me to why we're here in this webinar in the first place, because at Phrase, we're on a mission to automate translation for these high volume workflows that are being created. We want to make it possible for enterprises to unlock this ever increasing amount of content for everyone, and to set up localization processes so that content that's not localized today due to the lack of resources can be translated in the future. And we want to do this by facilitating a shift from mostly human workflows to mostly automated workflows where humans are involved where necessary. And we'll do this by making automation the norm, which will make it cheaper, faster and easier to access the content that you need to see in your language. So with that being said, let's take a more granular look at the automation within Phrase. First, I want to look at the automation of different components in the platform. So the Phrase localization platform has the capability to automate the right workflow for every piece of content, no matter what type of content you're translating. For example, you've probably heard of Phrase strings and Phrase TMS, and these parts of the platform, Phrase strings specifically, can facilitate the automated translation of digital products, software copy for games, and mobile apps, while Phrase TMS specializes in more long-form content that lives in CMSs or content repositories like website, blog articles, or marketing emails. And that's what we're going to focus on today, translating with APC within the TMS. But we also have automations across Phrase Language AI and Phrase Orchestrator. So we're not going to go into Phrase Orchestrator today, but because there's a lot of resources outside of this webinar that can help you learn about it. But we can create custom automations across the entire platform with the orchestrator. And I just wanted to make it clear that there are many automation capabilities in Phrase that can be customized for any content type. And today, we're just talking about one. We're focusing on automated project creation. And to create these zero-touch workflows, we're specifically looking to automate 3 elements of the localization process. The first is the input and delivery of content with APC and integrations. And this delivers a two-way sync that automatically detects when changes are made to content in your repository. The second element that we want to automate is project management of the localization process. And we can do that with predefined settings so that your content automatically flows through a specific workflow. And then finally, we want to automate the translation itself. And that's with automated MT while ensuring human post editing can be routed via a specific workflow and carried out if needed. And we're going to take this one step further and look at an even more granular look at how Phrase can be automated to create that truly zero-touch workflow dream. So it starts with a seamless integration that ensures automated checks and publishing to your tech stack, whether that's a CMS, a content repository like Google Drive, or copy for marketing automation. It can all be delivered to the tools that you're working in. And then project management, the second element, can be automated with predefined templates that are automatically applied by APC. And some of the elements that can be included in those workflow steps are the workflow steps themselves: translation, revision, quality assurance, LQA. You can also include your own resources like TMs, term bases, and your preferred machine translation engine that can be applied to the project. You can automatically produce analysis and quotes on job creation. And you can even add your preferred linguists who are contacted as soon as the translation job is ready for them. So there's no emailing back and forth or checking availability. If you know your linguist can take the job or is always preferred for a certain customer or topic, you can automatically include them in any APC. And then finally, the translation itself is automated with MT auto select, which selects the best engine for the domain and content type with pre-translation, and by pre-selecting company-specific resources like MT glossaries. So once these settings described here are working and running within Phrase, the input and delivery, project management, and translation, can be done without a single click. The only thing left to do will be monitoring your ongoing projects. And by enabling this level of automation, we are driving cost saving by eliminating manual labor, repetitive tasks, and lowering the cost per word. We're increasing quality because we are streamlining processes and reducing the room for human error. And we're also upping the speed because automation leads to quicker turnaround times and fewer bottlenecks. And finally, before passing over to Olga's deep dive and demo, I just wanted to give you an overview of what integrations and content types can be localized with APC. So in the table on your right is an example of, it's just an example enterprise that has various types of content that need to be synced to many different tools across their tech stack. And an APC can be set up to translate these content types and delivered to the tools that you're using. So no matter how big or complicated or varied the tools that you use across your business are, it is possible to automate that localization. And our customers are using zero-touch workflows every day. In Q1, with 20 plus integrations, our customers created over 23,000 jobs with APC and over 800 million words processed in just Q1 alone. So it's clear that this type of automation is delivering value at scale. And we're going to show you the first steps in doing that now with Olga's demo. So I'm very happy to pass it over, and she's going to take us on a deep dive.
And wait a second. So yeah, automated project creation deep dive. As Allison mentioned, this is our automation framework, and it is really, it is designed to localize content that is stored in third-party systems using Phrase TMS. And it's really a bridge or a glue between Phrase TMS and Phrase strings, and also all the third-party systems. And it really allows users to benefit from the whole platform experience that Phrase is offering. So if the content lives in Phrase strings or it lives in any of our integrations, users can still happily leverage all the benefits of the full-fledged translation management system. So they can store translation memories and they can have all the workflows there without really compromising where the content is, and without having to move the content manually and download files and jobs from one place to another. APC is doing it all automatically without any extra human involvement. So you already know the tools and you already have all the documentation. You don't have to touch anything. You don't have to do anything extra. And the automation Phrase is embedded in the system, which is great because it's not an afterthought. It is something that is an integral part of what we offer. And it is also possible to configure the level of automation you need. So while it is possible to set up the zero-touch workflows, it is also possible to automate imports and exports while retaining control over what is going on in the meantime. To set up an APC, it is necessary to have two things: project template and a connector. So project template is where all the settings live, everything, as Allison mentioned, that relates to workflow, that relates to vendors, analyses, etc. So that can be set up in a project, saved as a project template, and everything that happens inside the projects and jobs can be reused in the APC. Then we need to set up a connector. So basically connect your content management system or the place where you store your documentation with Phrase TMS. And once these two things are done, we're able to automate the workflow. And APC itself It's really the automation skeleton, I would say. So we're putting in the project settings. We're putting in the monitored folders from the third-party system, and then APC is just running with that, and the automations are tailored to the processes that you already have in place. So what I will touch upon now is really three themes: how to automate the process. So I will go through the settings that we have, and I will show how to monitor multiple articles at once, and how to manage translations with continuous projects. Then I will show quickly how to keep track of projects created with APCs. So how to get the status overview, how to stay informed, and how to make sure that everything is on track. And then as a little bit of an extra, I will just show which settings to apply in order to explore and play around with zero-touch workflows, and how we can potentially scale that and use that in our processes. So with that, yes, I will for now leave the presentation, and I will move to my APC and my TMS setup. So I have already done a little bit of pre-setting of everything, because here I already have an APC that I was playing around with that has everything put together. So just to let you know here, to go to APC, we need to just go to settings, and then we have automated project creation here, and we have all the whole list of all the automated projects that are running within Phrase system. And you can see that some of these projects have these two little arrows that indicates that these are continuous projects, which means that once we start an APC, the projects will be running continuously. So it means that if there are source updates, and there won't be any extra projects created, but instead everything will be happening within the same project, and jobs will be reopened. So that is the framework, and this is the webinar, the APC setup. And so in order to set up an APC, we can select folders, and this is our UI for that. And it is interesting that we can select we can select a whole folder, but if, for example, as in my case, there are 50 files in the folder, we don't have to monitor all of that. So we can tailor that to our needs. And we can, in my case, I am monitoring 3 out of 50 files. So that means that is the extra flexibility that you can have when using the APC. Then you can have different monitoring recurrence. In my case, I've just set up it as monthly, just because I didn't want the updates to run, for example, every 5 minutes while I'm presenting the webinar. And then here you can create APC as a continuous project, and select your project template that you have set up previously. What is interesting here is that in the target languages, even if your project template has 20 different target languages selected, here you can delete them, and then you will be able to reuse the same project template settings for multiple APCs, and tailor the target languages to your needs. So you can have the same workflow settings, but different automation framework applied to them, depending on how you want to translate different languages. Because maybe you're producing and localizing more content for German, and you would need to run APC every week or even every day. But you don't have that many projects in Canadian French, and that would mean that you would only need to set up monitoring monthly or biweekly. And you can set up translation exports, and it's also possible to rename the exports so that you immediately know where in the workflow they are. The last part of the APC setup is extra automation. So for example, you can also decide where jobs will be reopened if you want to start the workflow from scratch every time a source is getting updated, or do you want to just give it to your revisers in order to tweak the updates and not necessarily touch everything and manage everything from scratch. So let me just go to projects right now, and this is my APC related project, and I've already completed a few translations. I have 3 workflow steps in this particular APC, so I will just see what I have here. Hopefully yes, I can see the completion percentage. So it's also useful to know that if the percentage is in red, it means that the previous workflow step was not completed yet. In my case, I want to take care of this one job because, yeah, that will be the quickest way, being mindful of the time that we have here during this webinar. So I will quickly complete the workflow by just confirming all the segments and completing them. And I will do the same for the last workflow step. And confirm. And now, hopefully, I'll refresh once or twice. And in a moment, the status should be changed to delivered. And we will be able to see, oh, I don't have internet connection. Can you, let's see, hopefully it will work. Okay, I don't have internet connection, but looks like the German translation was delivered. So now I will go to Zendesk, and here is the article. This is a lovely AI generated article about my dog Karma. And hopefully we will be able to see in a second that there will be a German translation in the additional languages section, just like I had with Polish. And yes, so of course this is copy pasted. I copy pasted the source segments into target segment. So it's all in English, but trust me, if you have your linguist working on it, then that target article will be in German. So in case of Zendesk, of course, when you go to your article, you will be able to see the languages, the source language and the target languages as additional languages. And this is how it is working. And so now the extra information on how to set up a workflow that would work with zero touch. And to that, I have to get back to project settings. Sorry, to projects. And to do that, basically, when we're setting up a project, and of course, I will give it a name, and I will select some languages that we would be using as source and target. In the pre-translation section, we would like to select the pre-translation on job creation option. And of course, for that, if you want to pre-translate from machine translation, of course, this is something that has to be enabled for your account. And then it's possible to set the job to complete it once it's pre-translated. And then you can also set the project to complete it while it's when it's pre-translated. An additional thing that can be toggled in the workflow section is update all workflow steps. And when we enable that, it means that once the content is updated or source is updated, if there were any updates made in the final workflow step, these updates will be populated to all workflow steps upon source update. And so that means that your linguist will stay in the loop and will be always up to date with the most recent version of the copy. So once all these settings are applied in the project template, so the pre-translation and the workflow updates, when creating an APC, and I will here just quickly use my APC as a demonstration. Okay, it loaded, that's great. If we, in the creation and export section, select the continuous project, that basically will allow APC to run on its own. Well, the continuous project and of course monitoring has to be set up, but that's a required field. So it goes without saying that it needs to be set up. And once these conditions are met, every time a source update is detected, it will be automatically imported into the TMS. And once it hits the TMS, it will get quickly pre-translated, set to completed. And the moment it's completed, it will be exported back into the connector, whatever your connector is. So with this set of settings, it's really possible to just run on machine translation, run on pre-translation and automated settings. So that is a really cool option that we have here. And of course, it won't work for all types of contents. It will not work for all types of workflows, in the sense that it depends on everyone's different needs. But it is possible, and with the APC, we can have content living somewhere in the connector, and without manually importing this into TMS, we can still automate the workflow. And I will just look at my cheat sheet to double check if I have talked about everything. No, now what is left is the APC overview page and how we can track the settings and how we can track the statuses and make sure that we have control over everything. So again, in the main sidebar, we're choosing settings. We're going to automated project creation, and that will show us a list of everything, of every APC that we have. And I am lucky enough to here have only active APCs, which is great. It means that they are running and there are no issues. But I should be able to show you also some other APCs on different pages. So the inactive APCs are those that were paused by users, which means that you can make a decision that you will be pausing an APC, and then you can reactivate it at any time. And sometimes it is possible to have an APC that will need attention. It means that that APC still is running, but has some issues. And it will and the error message will be actionable, and you will be immediately prompted to change your settings and make sure that everything is running correctly. Another status that is missing from here is a stop status, which indicates that an APC has an error that is blocking its further run, but it will be the same situation as here. So the status chip will have the 3 dots, and you will be able to immediately be redirected to troubleshooting and to the settings that you need to update to make sure everything is running correctly. So these are the statuses. This is a beautiful overview of everything that we have. And one more note that in order to deactivate or reactivate the APC, there's this little toggle on the APC edit page And with that, you are able to set it to active or inactive and pause or reactivate at any time that you need. And with that, I think we can continue with the final slides. So I will return to resharing my big screen. So this was the demo, and now a little summary of the benefits of automated project creation and how it works and why it brings value to localization processes. Well, it's a tool that enables everyone to enjoy the full Phrase platform experience. So you don't have to compromise what you're used to. And we know that localization managers have high standards and high expectations for the translation management systems. And Phrase TMS is really everything that they know and they need, with a lot of settings, with a lot of options to store and maintain resources, assign vendors, run word count analyses, etc. So you can still have that, but with automated project creation, you can add an extra layer of just seamlessly running the processes with reducing manual actions. And you can decide how much you want to automate. Do you want to still manually assign vendors or manually run translations and make sure that everything is running as it should? That's possible. But also, if you want to explore zero-touch workflows and you want to just seamlessly and quickly run machine translation localization, that is possible. You have to only set up a project template and an APC, and then basically you don't have to worry about imports, exports, and content updates at all. So you can localize high volumes in one go. You can easily monitor the state and status of your automations. Everything is accessible in one dashboard, and you can see the statuses. And if there is any error, you also are immediately prompted to how to fix it. So you're not getting generic error messages. You're not getting cryptic snippets of code that only engineers can understand. Everything is tailored to the needs of localization professionals. And so that way you can leverage integrations with no extra manual maintenance, with no extra manual steps. And you don't have to worry about moving your content manually and monitoring where the updates were made, which segments are affected, etc. So to sum it all up, automated project creation allows you to just let the localization flow, and you can have the time to focus on strategic initiatives. You have the time to focus on fostering relationships with your vendors, and you don't have to worry about manually checking every single segment for updates and localization. So how to start? How do I start with APC? APC is available for all pricing plans. So that's great information, because you can automate with no extra effort. As I've shown already throughout my demo, in order to get to the APC, you have to go to the settings on the main sidebar and then scroll down to the automation section. And automated project creation is the very first thing in the list. And then once you start setting up an APC, it will prompt you, even if you do not have set up connectors or project templates, it will prompt you to what you need to monitor and redirect to connectors page. And then when you're selecting project templates, it's the same story. So even if you just start with APC, that page alone will guide you to the pages that you need in order to successfully create an automation. And that's it. Happy automating, I can say. Hopefully, this will be useful, and this will bring value to you. And if there are any questions now or in the future, we're always happy to help, and we're always happy to guide you through the automation process. Thank you.
Thank you, Olga.
Yeah.
This was amazing. I think I can take over with screen sharing and we can have a look at the questions. There are some already, and let's get started with the first question. I think some of them arrived throughout the webinar, so they might have already been answered, but why not repeat? Can I set up the automation with other tools than Zendesk, and will it work the same?
So yes, you can set up automation with other tools than Zendesk, and it will work the same in the sense that we have, there's one APC for every single connector, and we have the same options and the same settings. Of course, the file structure will be different for different connectors, but the settings, the import and export, everything stays the same.
Thank you. Maybe we can follow up with this one now, which is a similar one. I have seen connectors to Zendesk, OneDrive, Google, GitHub. Is there a list of connections that can be automated for content updates?
Yes, I believe we do have a list in the Help Center article somewhere. So I will just, is this the link? I hope it is. And if this is, I'm looking for it now, and I will paste it in the chat. So hopefully it will be visible if I paste it in the chat. But generally, a quick Google search also reveals the Phrase TMS connectors, and there will be a full list. And I believe also when you are in Phrase TMS, then you go to the connector page. Once you want to set up a connector, you will have a drop down, and then you will have a list of all the connectors that are there that you can configure for yourself.
Okay, thank you very much. Next one, I'm on the business plan of TMS. Is APC available for me?
Yes, as I said in the last slide, so yeah, possibly this arrived in the middle of the presentation. APC is available for all pricing plans.
Okay, thank you. Can I manage projects with a target language having different tones of voice?
That is a very interesting question, and I think it would depend on the process that you have, because and the linguists that you're working with, and possibly also on the machine translation engine that you have trained for your specific content, because of course automated project creation does not limit any source of any sources of content, and does not limit any types of content. But everything that happens inside the project and inside the job depends on how you work. So I would say if you're, for example, using a generic machine translation engine, then obviously that will probably not be as well tailored to differences in tones of voice as, for example, a machine translation engine that was trained on a specific type of content. And then, of course, it also depends on working with different linguists and the briefings that they are getting for specific jobs. I hope that answers the question. But yeah, from the perspective of automated project creation, there are absolutely no limitations for the target languages and types of content.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Olga. Next question, and Olga, if this is more for maybe tech support, feel free to say so. We can pass it on, but let's try to see your opinion. Why does my APC section only show 5 projects dealing with JSON string translation? We have other big projects as well, but they are not shown here.
Yes, I would like to understand more context, maybe, because there can be different reasons why. So, for example, if there are some projects using automation that did not have any source updates, they might not pop up on the project page. So that's why they might not be visible. But yes, this is, I can only say so much based on this one message, but if we have more context, then definitely we would love to look into that, and also maybe chat about it or investigate with the engineering team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me just add that maybe it would be best to really reach out to the technical support team directly from your account so they can look into it with you directly from your Phrase account and advice there.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Does the integration with HubSpot work the same for APC?
It should. I mean, I would like to, depending on probably the details of the project, but as I said earlier, APC is the same framework for all the connectors that we have, all the connectors that are available. So it's the same way. The files that are stored in HubSpot will be monitored by the APC for source updates, and then anything that is translated in the APC will be exported back. So yeah, there can be some minor differences in the content structure, but other than that, it's the same set of settings for everything and everyone.
All right, thank you. And what right now seems to be the last question, is this process also suitable for big volumes of files, for example, more than 50 files at once?
Absolutely. So this is our bread and butter, really. And for here, I was showing just a little fraction of what we're normally managing in APC and what we're working on together with the integrations team, and that is managed by Charles. So yes, we are made for big volumes. And it is possible, and we have clients that have 60 target languages, and well, 60 maybe it's a big number, I don't know, do we have, but anyway, they have lots of, I don't know, 100, 200, 300 jobs, and each of these jobs has to be translated into 30 plus languages, and it is all running within the APC. So yes, this is possible.
Okay, thank you. There are a couple more questions coming in. Let me just quickly put them up.
Do we need to set up different APCs for managing multiple vendors, even if the workflow is the same? So it all really depends on the vendors that you have in your project templates. So if you have if you have vendors assigned in the project template, then that will be that will be used in the APC. So it really, I think the answer really depends on whether you are able to assign all those vendors into your one project template, because right now the limitation that we have is that there can be only one project template per APC. So as long as everything fits into that one project template, it can be applied to the APC. If we have multiple vendors sitting across different project templates, then that will require as many APCs as there are project templates.
Okay, thank you. And if you're having several pages of files in such projects, how is overview ensured?
So overview is possible on the project page, and there's I'm not sure if I understand if this is a literal question or if this is a management question, but if we have several pages of files in big project, they're all visible in the project page, and it's possible to just have a look at each and every one of them. So from the technical perspective, what we are enabling is just pagination and various filtering and search options across the product. But yeah, I'm not sure if that really answers the question. I hope it does. But yeah, we're also open for follow-up questions or emails later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if you have your dedicated customer success manager, feel free to raise it with them. We can, always put the answer together internally and get back to you. So yeah, don't hesitate to follow up. Yeah, it seems like we are done with questions for now, at least. If there is something that comes up maybe later, feel free to reach out to us. We will be distributing the recording to everyone tomorrow as well. So if you need to rewatch or you want to rewatch, please do so and let us know what you thought. There will be a short survey popping up after we close this session. We will very much appreciate everyone's feedback and maybe suggestions for further webinars, what you would like to see covered. Now I will thank the presenters for today. Thank you, Allison, and thank you, Olga, for your presentation and demo and answering the questions as well. And yeah, have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.